Good afternoon to all my dear friends. Welcome to today's session. Today our resource person Dr. E. Rajini Madam Garu, Assistant Professor at Department of Botany and Food and Nutrition, RVVR Women's College. Madam will going to explain in phycology. She is an expert in phycology. So all of you listen carefully, my dear friends. Madam, share your screen. Madam, share your screen. Madam, please you proceed. Rajini Madam.
Okay, sir. Good afternoon, students. In the last class, I explained to the algae.
Madam.
Okay. Here, in the last class, I'll start with the algal. What is algae? The introduction of
your voice is not clearly audible, madam.
Not clear or clearly audible?
Not clearly audible.
Now, sir.
Okay, please you proceed.
In the first class, I'll explain to the total class what is algae, what is the study of algae, in the introduction of algae, how to identification of algae. Next one, what is the plant body, what characters we can identify the algae, and what is the habitat, what is the habitat, many different habitats are there, one is the freshwater, current water algae, these are things. And next one, the plant body of algae is called the thallus. The undifferentiated in between the root, shoot, and leaf system.
Madam, please speak louder. Your
in this one, after that one, the thallus, after thallus organization, next class is the classification of algae. In that classification of algae, many scientists to classify the algae, but in the degree standard, we can study to the Fritch classification. In that, scientists Fritch to classify the total algae 11 classes. You know, in yesterday class, I will do the total each and every class, what color pigmentation is there, what is the structure of algae, and what is the reserve food material, how many types of reproductions are present. These are things I'll explain into the last class.
Madam, please your voice. Please.
Sir, now, sir. Ippudu, sir.
Ippudu okay. Konjam bigger cheppandi, madam, please.
Now today I'll start the class reproduction in algae. Here reproduction in algae, see in this one. See in the pictures you can observe here many algal pictures or algal diagrams are there. This is the chlamydomonas and volvox. This is the petridiums and ectocarpus, idogonium, cytonema, and these are the total algal pictures. You can observe these pictures. This is the alva, and pediastrum is there. In this one, what is the reproduction? How many parts of reproduction are present in the algae? In this one, reproduction here means the total reproduction is biological process by which new individual organisms, that is organisms is called the offsprings. These offsprings are produced from their parents. Here the total algae reproduction is the fundamental features of all life. Each individual organism exists as the result of reproduction. It's the definition of reproduction. In this one here algae, there are the three forms or three types of reproductions are there. These common method reproduction. One is the vegetative reproduction, second one asexual reproduction, third one is called the sexual reproduction. We can identify the types of reproductions are three types: vegetative, asexual, and sexual reproduction. Coming to the first one, vegetative reproduction. What is the vegetative reproduction? Here the algae include those methods of propagation in which portion of the plant body become the separate of give rise to the individual. When the separate of become the plant body, in that separate of that is the to form to the new individuals or gives rise to the new plant of algae or gives rise to new individuals. This vegetative reproduction takes place in the different types or different methods are there. The first method is the cell division. The first method of the reproduction vegetative cell division. What is the year when the thallus of the algae is there? No, in that thallus to made up of many cells. The mother cell divided and the daughter cells are produced, which become a when the produce the daughter cell, no, in that cells which become a form to the new plants, new algae plant, and it's sometimes known as binary fission also. That is third is the known as called binary fission. This type of reproduction can observed in the diatoms and euglena. Diatoms is called the basilarophysi members and euglena chlorophysi members. You are asked the question, the type of vegetative reproduction where you can observe to the cell division or this is the binary fusion. Both are the best example for the diatoms and euglena. See here, you can observe this one. This is the euglena and this picture how to cell division are there. This part is to separate and to form to the new thallus. And the second system is called the fragmentation. What is second vegetative reproductive part is called the fragmentation. In this fragmentation, plant body here into several parts or fragments to divided into the fragments. Each and every fragment to develop into the new individual algal plant. This type of vegetative reproduction very common. You can observe the filamentous form. You know what is filamentous form? Yesterday in the thallus organization time, I'll explain to the what is cophoid, what is synobium, the unicellular, multicellular, and the synobium or colonies, filamentous body, branching, unbranching filamentous also there. Here, trichogony also present. In this one, you can fragmentation, we can observe to the plant of the reproductive way, the filament, all filamentous thallus or filamentous plant body. The best example you can know, Eulothrix and Spirogyra. Both are the filamentous plant body can observe to the Eulothrix and Spirogyra. These fragmentations, so sometimes you can observe to the colonies also. What are the colony? Here, two colonies are in the Chlorophyci, Volvox is one colony. In the Myxophyci, and nostoc and Aphthotis, both are the colonies. But the difference in between Chlorophyci and Cyanophyci colonies are different. Chlorophyci colonies, all are the cell to flagellas are present, motile formation is there. But here in this fragmentation colony, you can observe takes place in the only Myxophyci member or blue-green algae member. That is called the example, best example, nostoc. Nostoc also one colony. But here, which one is absent? Non-motile form. Flagella is totally absent. See, this one fragment, the best example for this is a Spirogyra. Spirogyra pictures. This total is the plant body, filamentous plant body. What is that plant body name? Filamentous plant body. So you can observe to the this point is the septa. In this in the cell nucleus is present. All green color part is there. No, that is spiral chloroplast. These part to divided into the two pieces or two systems or two fragments. Each and every fragment to produce to the individuals or new algal plant or new Spirogyra plant. The third coming from the third one, Harmagonia or Armagones or Harmagonia. Here, when the trichomes, what is the trichome? Trichomes break the small. You can observe the trichomes only Myxophyci member. Myxophyci meaning which one? Blue-green algae. In this Harmagonia, where the trichomes are there, in that trichome break into the small pieces. These small pieces of into more cells, such pieces is called Harmagonias. You can observe Harmagonia only blue-green algae of the fragments undergo here living movement is present. This living movement is called the Harmagonia. Each and every Harmagonia develop into new thallus of the plant body. The best example, Oscillatoria nostoc. Here to ask the question, where you can, which class you can observe to the vegetative reproduction of the Harmagonia. That is a blue-green algae or myxophycean member. Example for here, Oscillatoria and Nasdaq. See, these are your larger cell is there, no? This total is the, see, this one is the Nasdaq. The beaded structures are there, rounded beaded colonies. You can observe the one, this part, where the Harmagonia, you can observe the cell size very large in compared to other cell. This Harmagonia cell is very large and very big in size. This cell to converted into the Harmagonia, and this one to produce the new thallus of the Nasdaq. This one is the Harmagonia. And next one, Harmospore. Don't confuse, Harmagonia is different, Harmospores are also different. Harmospores are Harmocystus. These both names are said, Harmospores are Harmocystus. Here, multicellular spores are present in this structure, function as penetrating bodies. These penetrating bodies are called Harmospores or Harmocystus. These are Harmocystus can observe the compared to other cell, very thick wall. The structure of the wall is very thick, Harmagos, and produced in some direct conditions. That is called the all are the Harmospores. And the next coming from the next tubers also. Here you can observe the tubers only for chlorophycean member, that is the Chara. The best example vegetative reproduction. In this Chara, amylum starch also to produce it. That also one type of reproductive. Usually the body where the tubers are there, the structure of tubers are called rounded, filled with the abundance of the starch. Each and every tuber body gives rise to a new plant. The best example Chara, and in these tubers oblique amylum starches, and the structure of star-shaped tubers to form to the Chara plant body to form that one. That is a one type of reproductive Chara, and these are the to form the new produce to the new Chara plant. The tubers are amylum starch. Next one coming from next another vegetative reproduction, adventitious type or adventitious thallus. In this one, the adventitious thallus, certain some, these are the very special structure of the thallus. These adventitious thallus formed with the help in vegetative reproduction. Well known these for the propagula of bryopsis. Best example for bryopsis, Flagellated, or the very good example for the adventitious thalli, not adventitious root. This one is the adventitious thalli. Both examples are most important. One is the bryopsis and second one is the Flagellated. Both are the adventitious thalli example. Next one coming from the another one, bulbils. Here bulbils also you can observe in the chlorophycean member. Chara is best example. Bulbils, amylum starch, and tubers. These three types of vegetative reproduction you can observe in the chlorophycean member, that is called the Chara. What is the structure of a bulb? It's very small bud-like structures. These are usually developed on the rhizoids of Chara. These are called bulbils. Each bulbil may develop into a new plant or new Chara plant. Next, see here. This is the Chara. Where this part here, this part is the node, this part is node. In between that is called the internode. In the where the node part is there, in that node part to produce it to the bulbils. Next one, achaenids. You can observe that the achaenids also in this type of reproduction very common in myxophycean member or blue-green algae as well as blue-green algae. Achaenids are a type of vegetative cell which very thick walled. Achaenids to form the very thick wall and will overcome to the unfavorable conditions. Where sometimes in the summer time we can observe the ponds, lakes, the water stress is there. Water stress is there. In that time, these cells in the plant body of the cells to converted into the achaenids. In that time, the cell wall is very thick, will overcome the unfavorable condition. All cells to converted into the achaenid. Sometimes they are formed in the chain forms also. And this see here, achaenid how to form. Hetero, cystus. The akinetes is called echinocystites. This one is heterosis and this part is called akinetia. Best example for this one also nasdaq, all blue-green algae, cytonema, ligma, nasdaq. These are the example for the akinetes. Next, these akinetes may develop into a new plant. This type of reproduction found in Edogonium also you can observe in this one. Edogonium and Eulothrix, both are the present into the akinetes. And the second one, advanceous types of branches. Another one, advanceous type of branches, small, large colloid forms are called advanceous branches. You can observe advanceous branches also, Khara, and this one is the Polysiphonia. Also, you can observe the advanceous type. Advanceous type meaning here two branches to one. One is the unlimited branches, second one is the limited branches. These are the advanceous types of branch like protonema. Very important. Where the many times to ask this question. Advanceous branches of vegetative reproduction, you can observe that is the protonema formed also. Protonema formed to internode of the chara. See here, 1 second. See, this part is a node. This part is called node. In between this one is the internode. This internode part to converted into the advanceous type of branches, or in this one is called the protonema. These protonema to develop into the after vegetative reproduction to form to the this one to form to the new chara plant. That's why advanceous branches like protonema formed in the internode of chara. The best example Dictyona and Fucus also, but in the degree level you can ask the chara is the best example. These are things Dictyona, Fucus are the you can study it in the PG level, but you can by heart it these two example also. And see here, next one, see this one. Fucus is the this one. What is the branches are there? No, this one is the branches. See this one, all the short advanceous branches and the long advanceous branches. That is the thallus to modify it into separate. One is the long and short to advance. Two types of branches are there. You can observe fucus also. This one is the fucus. These two are the fucus pictures. And next one, the second reproduction name is vegetative or totally completed. Let's explain to the total vegetative. How many types? One is the cell division, second fragmentation, third harmogonia, fourth harmospore. Don't confuse harmogonia and harmospore. Both are different. So fourth one is the tuber, sixth one is the bulbils and akinetes, advanceous branches. These are all under vegetative reproduction. Here students, you can you know what is the advance, what is the tubers, how to reproduction, these are. But here you can ask the question examples. Most important for the what type of reproduction, what are the examples, and class also. Coming to the second one, asexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction mode of by offspring arise from a single organism. These single organism and inherit the genes, genes of the parent only. Here, these asexual reproduction almost never involve in the polydy or reduction. Very, very important. Here, never in the algae, never involves in the reduction division. The offspring will be exact genetic copies of the parent or thallus. You can study it here in the plant body of thallus, thallus, except the specific case of automixes. This is the definition of the asexual reproduction. In this one, asexual reproduction, most sentence definition of the this one reproduction without the fusion of gametes. Very, very important. In the algae, without the fusion of gametes are there. Usually here, protoplast of cell division into these protoplast cell division converted into several protoplasts. After these escape from the mother and develop into a new plant. That's why here in the without fusion of gametes. This asexual reproduction may a primary form reproduction, single cell organism that is called archaebacteria, eubacteria, and proteosis. Many plants of fungi also reproduced by the asexual wall. Asexual reproduction takes place by the variety of spores. In the algae, minimum of 12 or 10 spores to produce each and in the asexual reproduction time. See, the first spore is called zoospores. Zoospores, aplanospores, autospores, endospores, exospores, like that. Many spores, but examples are most important. By zoospores formation, certain older cells of the filament. Here, how to convert it in the older cell to the zoospore, the cytoplasmic division, after cytoplasmic division to form the zoospore, which are the escaped from the mother cell. Why? Here, what happened in this one, see, without, I'll explain, without fusion of gametes. That's why these zoospore to escape the mother cell, they are always formed in the favorable condition. And when the water is there in the lake or ponds in the rainy season, in that time, the all are the algae to under the asexual reproduction is a zoospore. This is the always motile form. Listen careful. Only where the motile formation algae is there, in that one only can observe to the zoospores. See, this one is the one type of algae zoospores. How to zoospores to release the cell wall to releasing this one. And in this one, all are the zoospores. You can observe each and every zoospore to form to the motile formation. And these zoospores are very naked protoplasmic bodies are there. They may be flagella is present or cilia, but you don't write here cilia. Most important here the main important, that is a flagella. These flagella may be biflagellate, and second one is the tetraflagellate and compound zoospores also. Okay, main important these spores are very important in the zoospores, or that zoospores is the biflagellate, tetraflagellate and compound zoospores are there. The best example, eudogonia, bacteria. Many times to ask the question, this one eudogonia is the chlorophyce member. In that chlorophyce, eudogonia to produce the zoospores, that is the biflagellated type of zoospores. The bacteria also tetraflagellate zoospores to produce it. Sometimes to produce it to the compound zoospores also. This is the best example. You can byhead it in the zoospore. These two. What is that one? But first one is the eudogonia. Second one is the bacteria. Coming to second asexual reproduction, aplanospore. When motile phase, zoospores is eliminated. The bodies are called aplanospore. Coming this, listen careful. When motile phase, you can observe the motile phase of zoospore. In that motile phase of zoospore is eliminated, the bodies are called aplanospore. These aplanospores are produced when there is a lack of sufficient water. In that time only the zoospores to eliminated the bodies are that called name is called aplanospore. These are all covered by very thick wall, thin wall, but do not possess a flagella. Zoospore, flagella is present, but aplanospore do not possess a flagella like the zoospore. This is the most important point. Where the aplanospore is there, the flagella is totally absent. They also germinate directly, gives rise to a new plant. See, these are all aplanospore. Here, flagella is absent. These are the aplanospores. Flagella is absent. Coming from next one, third one, hypanospore. Hypanospores also very thick walled, develop in adventitious the adventitious conditions, or somewhere the water is there. In that time, all the water is loss of water. In that time, dry condition. In that time, advise the conditions to apnospore to produce. The comparatively dried situation. When the dried situations are there, in that time, the content of mother cell round of the create a one thick wall around them to tide over the unfavorable condition. These unfavorable condition, thick wall structures to form, that is called hypanospores. Seagulls. These are, see students, these are the hypanospores. Next, these hypanospores become a What is the characteristic? These are the thick walled are there, akinetes just like, and the approach of the dry and hot weather type. These hapnospores approach the favorable condition. When the favorable conditions is there, in that time, these are the germinate and directly to produce the new plant or new juice spore. The best example, pediastrum and Vacheria. This one is the pediastrum and Vacheria. Coming fourth one, Pamela stage. Very important, this stage of asexual reproduction, where when the dryness of the conditions are there, the plant body left on the moist bank, receding water of the ponds on the cell. Many algae continue to divided into the content are not liberated in this part. The mother cell wall become a gelatinous sheath and thus forming a moss or colony rounded cells which are lie embedded in the jelly-like substance to form cell wall. That is the pomella. See this one, very large in size. Green, no? This one is a very thick wall to form the thick wall. These one, the pomella stage, when the favorable on the return of the favorable condition, the cell come out either juice spore or aplanospore, germinate to produce the normal plant. Example for Eulothrix. This one is the Eulothrix example. Next one, autospores. Very, very important in this one, autospore. The best example for the chlorophysi member, volvox. In the wall, where the volvox asexual reproduction is there, the gonidia cells to convert it after reproduction to form the spores is the autospore. They just like these autospores are just like the aplanospore, except the very small in size. To compare the aplanospore, these spores are the small in size, resemble in the shape to mother cell, expect the in the size. These autospores gives rise to a new plant of algae. Autospores reproduce many chlorocacales, chlamydomonas, with the chlorophysi members. The best example, Senidesmus and volvox. Both are the best example for in the autospores. See here, these are the autospores. Next one, endospore. Here, endospore you can observe in this type of asexual reproduction only Myxophyceae and Basilorophyceae. That is called blue-green algae and Basilorophyceae. The endospores are formed within the cell. The endospores in the cell behave as a sporangium, just like you can observe in that one sporangium. On the approach of a favorable condition, each and every endospore develop into a new algal plant. See, these are all for the endospores. Next one, coming the next cyst. Cyst is the just like the thick-walled spores are called cyst. See, these are also when the unfavorable conditions are there, or even when food supply is abundant, in that time to form these cysts during their formation are in Vacheria of the thallus. Become many in the Vacheria, the thallus structure is the septa is there. But here become many septa or each and every chamber formed produced a thick wall cyst. See here, these all are the thick walled cysts. In this cyst example, here you can observe these are the rhizoids. This is a thick walled cyst. Outer side layer is there. No, these are outer side layer is called the that is the rhizoid. Or rhizoids are Botredium when they are called rhizocyst. The rhizoids are present in that cyst. Name is called rhizocyst. This is divided for the number of microcysts also. These are the sexual reproduction. How many are of sexual reproductions are there? But different types of spores are there in this one asexual reproduction. Zoospores, aplanospore, hypanospore, pamela stage, and next one autospores, endospores, cyst, just like exospores also same like that. These are the under asexual reproduction type. Next coming the last one, sexual reproduction. Here sexual reproduction develop and this one first fossilized evidence of sexual reproduction in eukaryotes is the main is about 1 to 1.2 billion years ago. These reasons include fighting the accumulation, the mutations or the increase the rate of adaptation to change the environment, and with competition or as the adaptation of repairing DNA damages and making many types of mutations are identified. That's where while these ideas about the sexual reproduction has been maintained or are general supported, the ultimate size of the population determination of the sexual reproduction. In this entirely beneficial, this one, large population appear to the respond more quickly benefit of the sexual reproduction than smaller population size also advantage reproductive of this one. Very slowly reproductive part or complex organisms are there. It is generally advanced method of reproduction. Algae, you can observe several strategies are there in the species, environmental given by the species inhabit, and particular the survival strategies and environmental conditions all are the under this one. Very great advanced methods you can observe in the sexual reproduction. What is the conditions of sexual reproduction in algae? The first condition takes after considerable accumulation of food material and climax of the vegetative activity is the over, the first condition. The second one, bright light also most important. Where the light is there, the algae growing that place only, no, and that's where the sexual reproduction. The second condition, bright light is the major factor of the production of gamete, and pH value also very required, and optimum temperature also very necessary in this one. But how many? Only 3 types of sexual reproduction are there: isogamy, heterogamy, aplanogamy, or conjunctions. What is the isogamy? The fusion of the first asexual reproduction is the isogamy. In this isogamy, the fusion of similar motile gametes is found in many species. Usually, the gametes taking part of fusion come 2 different individual filaments. Sometimes these gametes come from the 2 different cells of the same filament. They can't be classified that one is the male or female. Instead, organism undergoing of the isogamy that said that have different mating types of mostly common noted, that is the plus and minus strain, the positive strain and negative strain. That the here gone to the that is the male gamete or female gamete. That's why the names are noted commonly negative and positive. Negative with strain, and second one is the positive. See, this is the chlamydomonas. In the isogamy, one is the positive and second one is the negative. These this one through the fertilization sucker gametes, so 2 different mating types of fusion to form to the zygote. This one is the isogamous, and the second one heterogamous or heterogamy type. Here fusion the dissimilar gametes is called hetero. Hetero meaning 2 different gametes are to produce. These also there are the 2 types, main 2 types. One is the anisogamy. The second one is the oogamy. What is the anisogamy? The fusion gametes similar appearance are the motile, but they are different physiological in the size. What is that one? Appears are the motile, but physiologically these are the gametes are different. One gamete is a smaller size. That gamete name is called male. Another gamete is a very large in size, that is called the female or egg cell. Small or microgamete, large one is called macro. See, these are the aniso. These are the physiologically different. Size also very different. This is the female. Female cell is the very large cell, and male gamete is a very small in compared to the female. There are several types of anisogamy. Main important, both gametes may be flagellated and thus motile. Male and female both are the flagella is present. Alternatively, neither of the gametes may be flagellated. This situation occurs, for example, in algae and some plants also. The best example, these anisogamy, you can study the Phycology member, that is the red algae, Polysiphonia. The best example for the sexual reproduction in anisogamy type, red algae or rhodophyceae, example for the Polysiphonia. Here, large non-motile egg cells are fertilized by small non-motile spermacea. Today I will explain. No, here the reproductive organ names also different. Female reproductive organ name is called spermatia. Sorry, female reproductive organ name is called carposporia. Male reproductive organ name is called spermatia. Where the female is there, egg cell, that is the carpogonia. Size is very large and non-motile stage. And small size non-motile spermatia is there, that is the male reproductive organ. This is the anisogamous type. You can observe in the rhodophycean member Polysiphonia example. The third next one is the oogamous